backdrop, backing, backup, badge, bail, balanced, ballet, balloon, ballot, bankruptcy, banner, bear, barely, bargain, barrel, basement, basket, base, bat, battlefield, bay, beam, beast, behalf, behavioral, beloved, bench, benchmark, beneath, beneficial, beneficiary, beside, besides, betray, beverage, bias, bid, bind, biography, biological, bishop, bizarre, blade, blanket, blast, bleed, blend, bless, blessing, blow, boast, bold, bombing, bonus, booking, boom, boost, bounce, bound, boundary, bow, breach, breakdown, breakthrough, breed, brick, briefly, broadband, broadcaster, broadly, browser, brutal, back, buddy, buffer, bug, bulk, burden, bureaucrat, burial, burst, cabin, cabinet, calculation, canal, candle, canvas, capability, capitalism, capitalist, carbon, cargo, carriage, carve, casino, castle, casual, casualty, catalogue, cater, cattle, caution, cautious, cave, cease, cemetery, certainty, certificate, challenging, chamber, championship, chaos, characterize, charm, charming, charter, chase, cheek, cheer, choir, chop, chronic, chunk, circuit, circulate, circulation, citizenship, civic, civilian, civilization, clarify, clarity, clash, classification, classify, cliff, cling, clinic, clinical, clip, closure, cluster, coalition, coastal, cocktail, cognitive, coincide, coincidence, collaborate, collective, collector, collision, colonial, colony, colorful, columnist, combat, comic, commander, commence, commentary, commentator, collaboration, concrete, commerce, commissioner, commodity, communist, companion, comparable, comparative, compassion, compel, compelling, compensate, compensation, competence, competent, compile, complement, completion, complexity, compliance, complication, comply, compose, composer, composition, compound, comprehensive, comprise, compromise, compulsory, compute, conceal, concede, conceive, conception, concession, condemn, confer, confess, confession, configuration, confine, confirmation, confront, confrontation, confusion, congratulate, congregation, congressional, conquer, conscience, consciousness, consecutive, consensus, consent, consequently, conservation, conserve, considerable, considerably, consistency, consistently, consolidate, conspiracy, constitute, constitution, constitutional, constraint, consult, consultant, cop, cope, consultation, consumption, contemplate, contempt, contend, contender, content, contention, continually, contractor, contradiction, contrary, contributor, controversial, controversy, convenience, convention, conventional, conversion, convey, convict, conviction, convincing, cooperate, cooperative, coordinate, coordination, coordinator, copper, copyright, corporation, correction, correlate, correlation, correspond, correspondence, correspondent, corridor, corrupt, corruption, costly, counselor, counseling, counselor, counter, counter, counterpart, countless, coup, courtesy, coverage, cowboy, crack, craft, crawl, creativity, creator, credibility, credible, creep, critically, critique, crown, crude, cruise, crush, crystal, cue, cult, cultivate, curiosity, curious, curriculum, custody, cute, cutting, cynical, dairy, dam, damaging, dare, darkness, database, dawn, deadline, deadly, dealer, debris, debut, decision-making, decisive, deck, declaration, dedicated, dedication, deed, deem, default, defect, defender, defensive, deficiency, deficit, defy, delegate, delegation, delete, delicate, delighted, democracy, democratic, demon, demonstration, denial, denounce, dense, density, depart, dependence, dependent, depict, deploy, deployment, deposit, depression, deprive, deputy, derive, descend, descent, designate, desirable, desktop, desperately, destruction, destructive, detain, detection, detention, deteriorate, determination, devastate, devil, devise, devote, diagnose, diagnosis, dictate, dictator, differ, differentiate, dignity, dilemma, dime, dimension, diminish, dip, diplomat, diplomatic, directory, disability, disabled, disagreement, disappoint, disappointment, disastrous, discard, discharge, disclose, disclosure, discourage, discourse, discretion, discrimination, dismissal, disorder, displace, disposal, dispose, disrupt, disruption, dissolve, distant, distinct, distinction, distinctive, distinguish, distort, distract, distress, disturb, disturbing, dive, diverse, diversity, divert, divine, divorce, doctrine, documentation, domain, dominance, dominant, donation, donor, dose, dispute, dot, drain, dramatically, drift, driving, drought, drown, duel, dub, dull, dumb, dump, duo, duration, dynamic, eager, earnings, ease, echo, ecological, economics, economist, editorial, educator, effectiveness, efficiency, efficiently, ego, elaborate, elbow, electoral, electronics, elegant, elementary, elevate, eligible, eliminate, elite, embark, embarrassment, embassy, embed, embody, embrace, emergence, emission, emotionally, empire, empirical, empower, enact, encompass, encouragement, encouraging, endeavor, endless, endorse, endorsement, endure, enforce, enforcement, engagement, engaging, enjoyable, enrich, enroll, ensue, enterprise, entertaining, enthusiast, entitle, entity, entrepreneur, envelope, epidemic, equality, equation, equip, equivalent, era, erect, erupt, escalate, essence, essentially, establishment, eternal, ethic, ethnic, evacuate, evaluation, evident, evoke, evolution, evolutionary, evolve, exaggerate, exceed, excellence, exception, exceptional, excess, excessive, exclude, exclusion, exclusive, exclusively, execute, execution, exert, exile, exotic, expansion, expedition, expenditure, experimental, expertise, expire, explicit, explicitly, exploit, exploitation, explosive, exposure, extension, extensive, extensively, extract, extremist, fabric, fabulous, facilitate, faction, faculty, fade, failed, fairness, fake, fame, fantasy, exile, exotic, expansion, expedition, expenditure, experimental, expertise, expire, explicit, explicitly, exploit, exploitation, explosive, exposure, extension, extensive, extensively, extract, extremist, fabric, fabulous, facilitate, faction, faculty, fade, failed, fairness, fake, fame, fantasy, fair, fatal, fate, favorable, feat, felony, feminist, fiber, fierce, filmmaker, filter, fine, firearm, firefighter, firework, firm, firmly, fiscal, fit, flavor, flaw, flawed, flee, fleet, flesh, flexibility, flourish, fluid, fond, full, footage, forbid, forecast, foreigner, forge, format, formation, formally, formula, formulate, forth, forthcoming, fortunate, forum, fossil, foster, foundation, founder, fraction, fragile, fragment, framework, franchise, frankly, fraud, freely, frequent, freshman, frustrated, frustrating, frustration, fulfill, full-time, functional, fundamentally, fundraising, funeral, furious, gallon, gambling, gaming, gathering, gay, gaze, gear, gender, gene, generic, genetic, genius, genocide, genuine, genuinely, gesture, gig, glance, glimpse, globalization, globe, glorious, glory, golden, goodness, gorgeous, governance, grace, graphic, graphics, grasp, grave for dead person, grave, serious, gravity, greatly, greenhouse, grid, grief, grin, grind, grip, gross, gorilla, guidance, guideline, guilt, gut, habitat, hail, halfway, halt, handful, handling, handy, harassment, harbor, hardware, harmony, harsh, harvest, hatred, haunt, hazard, headquarters, heal, healthcare, heighten, helmet, hence, herb, heritage, hidden, hierarchy, high profile, hilarious, hint, hip, historian, homeland, homeless, honesty, honey, hook, hopeful, hopefully, horizon, horn, hostage, hostile, hostility, humanitarian, humanity, humble, hunger, hydrogen, hypothesis, icon, ID, identical, identification, ideological, ideology, idiot, ignorance, illusion, imagery, immense, immigration, imminent, immune, implement, implementation, implication, imprison, inability, inadequate, inappropriate, incarcerate, incarceration, incentive, incidence, inclined, inclusion, incorporate, incorrect, incur, independence, index, indication, indicator, indictment, indigenous, induce, indulge, inequality, inevitable, inevitably, infamous, infant, infect, infer, inflation, inflict, influential, info, infrastructure, inhabitant, inherent, inherit, inhibit, initiate, inject, injection, injustice, ink, inmate, innovation, innovative, input, inquire, insert, insertion, insider, inspect, inspection, inspector, inspiration, installation, instant, instantly, instinct, institutional, instruct, instrumental, insufficient, insult, intact, intake, integral, integrate, integrated, integration, integrity, intellectual, intensify, intensity, intensive, intent, interact, interaction, interactive, interface, interfere, interference, interim, interior, intermediate, interpretation, intersection, interval, intervene, intervention, intimate, intriguing, invade, invasion, inventory, investigator, investor, invisible, invoke, involvement, ironic, ironically, irony, irrelevant,, isolate, isolated, isolation, jail, jet, joint, journalism, judicial, jurisdiction, jury, just, justification, keen, kidnap, kidney, kindergarten, kingdom, kit, ladder, landing, landlord, landmark, lane, lap, large scale, laser, lately, latter, lawmaker, lawn, lawsuit, layout, leak, leap, legacy, legend, legendary, legislation, legislative, legislature, legitimate, lengthy, lens, lesbian, lesser, lethal, liable, liberal, liberation, liberty, lifelong, lifetime, lighting, likelihood, likewise, limb, limitation, linear, line up, linger, listing, liter, literacy, literally, literary, litter, liver, lobby, log, logic, logo, long-standing, long time, loom, loop, lottery, loyal, loyalty, lyric, machinery, machinery, magical, magnetic, magnificent, magnitude, mainland, mainstream, maintenance, makeup, making, mandate, mandatory, manifest, manipulate, manipulation, manufacture, manufacturing, manuscript, marathon, march, margin, marginal, marine, marker, marketplace, marshal, mask, massacre, mate, mathematical, mature, maximize, meaningful, meantime, mechanic, mechanical, mechanism, medal, medication, medieval, meditation, melody, membership, memo, memoir, memorable, memorial, mentor, merchant, mercy, mere, merely, merge, merger, merit, metaphor, methodology, mode, midst, migration, militant, militia, mill, minor, minimal, minimize, mining, ministry, minute, miracle, miserable, misery, misleading, missile, mob, mobile, mobility, mobilize, moderate, modest, modification, module, momentum, monk, monopoly, monster, monthly, monument, morality, moreover, mortgage, mosque, mosquito, motion, motivate, motivation, motive, moving, municipal, mutual, myth, naked, namely, nasty, nationwide, naval, navigation, nearby, necessity, neglect, negotiate, negotiation, neighboring, nest, net, neutral, newly, newsletter, niche, nickel, noble, nod, nominate, nomination, nominee, nonetheless, non-profit, nonsense, noon, norm, notable, notably, notebook, notify, notorious, novel, novelist, nowadays, nursery, nursing, nutrition, obesity, objection, oblige, observer, obsess, obsession, obstacle, occasional, occupation, occupy, occurrence, odds, offender, offering, offspring, ongoing, openly, opera, operational, operator, opt, optical, optimism, optimistic, oral, orchestra, organic, organizational, orientation, originate, outbreak, outfit, outing, outlet, outlook, output, outrage, outsider, outstanding, overcome, overlook, overly, overnight, oversee, overturn, overwhelm, overwhelming, ownership, oxygen, packet, pad, palm, panic, parade, parallel, parameter, parental, parliament, partial, partially, participation, partnership, part-time, passing, passionate, passive, password, pastor, patch, patent, pathway, patience, patrol, patron, pause, peak, peasant, peculiar, peer, penalty, pension, perceive, perception, permanently, persist, persistent, personnel, petition, pharmacy, philosopher, philosophical, physician, pill, pioneer, pipeline, pirate, pit, placement, plea, plead, pledge, plug, plunge, pole, pole, pond, pop, portfolio, portion, portray, postpone, post-war, potentially, practitioner, preach, precedent, precious, precise, precisely, precision, predator, predecessor, predictable, predominantly, pity, precede, preference, pregnancy, prejudice, preliminary, premier, premise, premium, prescribe, prescription, presently, preservation, preside, presidency, presidential, prestigious, presumably, presume, prevail, prevalence, prevention, pray, pride, primarily, principle, prior, privatization, privilege, probability, probable, probe, problematic, proceed, proceeding, proceeds, processing, processor, proclaim, productive, productivity, profitable, profound, programming, progressive, prohibit, projection, prominent, promising, promotion, prompt, pronounced, propaganda, proportion, proposition, prosecute, prosecution, prosecutor, prospective, prosperity, protective, protein, protester, protocol, province, provincial, provision, provoke, psychiatric, psychological, publicity, publishing, pulse, pump, punch, punk, purely, pursuit, puzzle, query, quest, questionnaire, quota, racial, racism, racist, radar, radiation, radical, rage, raid, rail, rally, random, ranking, rape, rat, rating, ratio, rational, ray, readily, realization, realm, rear, reasonably, reasoning, reassure, rebel, rebellion, rebuild, receiver, recession, recipient, reckon, recognition, reconstruction, recount, recovery, recruit, recruitment, referee, referendum, reflection, reform, refuge, refugee, refusal, regain, regardless, regime, registration, regulate, regulator, regulatory, rehabilitation, reign, reinforce, rejection, relevance, reliability, relieve, relieved, reluctant, remainder, remains, remarkable, remarkably, remedy, reminder, removal, render, renew, renowned, rental, replacement, reportedly, reporting, representation, reproduce, reproduction, republic, resemble, reside, residence, residential, residue, resign, resignation, resistance, resolution, respective, respectively, restoration, restore, restraint, restrict, restriction, resume, resume, retail, retirement, rock, retreat, retrieve, revelation, revenge, revenue, reverse, revision, revival, revive, revolutionary, rhetoric, ridiculous, rifle, riot, rip, risky, ritual, rival, rob, robbery, robust, rocket, rod, romance, rookie, rose, roster, rotate, rotation, roughly, ruin, ruling, rumor, sacred, sacrifice, saint, sake, sanction, satisfaction, scandal, scare, scattered, scenario, scholar, scholarship, scope, scratch, screening, screw, scrutiny, seal, secondly, secular, seeker, seemingly, segment, seize, seldom, selective, seminar, sensation, sensitivity, sentiment, separation, serial, settlement, say, settler, set up, severely, sexuality, sexy, shaped, shareholder, shatter, shed, shear, shipping, shocking, shoot, shore, shortage, shortly, short term, shrink, shrug, sibling, sidewalk, sigh, signature, significance, simulate, simulation, simultaneously, sin, situated, skeptical, sketch, skilled, skip, skull, slam, slap, slash, slavery, slogan, slot, smash, snap, soak, saw, so-called, socialist, soul, solely, solidarity, solo, somehow, sometime, sophisticated, sophomore, sound, sovereignty, spam, span, spare, spark, specialize, specialized, specification, specify, specimen, spectacle, spectacular, spectator, spectrum, speculate, squad, speculation, spell, sphere, spice, spill, spin, spine, spite, spoil, spokesman, spokesperson, spokeswoman, sponsorship, spotlight, spouse, spy, squeeze, stab, stability, stabilize, stake, stall, stance, standing, stark, starve, statistical, steadily, steam, steer, stem, stereotype, stimulate, stimulus, stir, storage, straightforward, strain, strand, strategic, strengthen, strictly, striking, strip long narrow piece, strip remove clothes to layer, strive, structural, stumble, stunning, submission, subscriber, subscription, subsequent, subsequently, subsidy, substantial, substantially, substitute, substitution, subtle, suburb, suburban, succession, successive, successor, suck, stroke, stun, sue, suffering, sufficient, sufficiently, suicide, sweet, summit, super, superb, superintendent, superior, supervise, supervision, supervisor, supplement, supportive, supposedly, suppress, supreme, surge, surgeon, surgical, surplus, surrender, surveillance, survival, survivor, suspend, suspension, suspicion, suspicious, sustain, sustainable, swallow, swing. Vocal, voluntary, voting, vow, vulnerability, vulnerable. Wonder, ward, warehouse, warfare, warming, warrant, warrior, weaken, weave, weed, weekly, weird, welfare, well, well-being, whatsoever, wheat, whereby, whip, whoever, holy, widen, widespread, widow, width, willingness, wipe, wisdom, wit, withdraw, withdrawal, wolf, workforce, workout, workplace, workshop, worm, worship, worthwhile, worthy, wrist, yell, yield,